What's going on, everybody? This is Simon. You're watching Cryptechology, and today, we're going to talk about Ethereum 2.0 and how you can prepare yourself for the merge. So, anyone that's been mining Ethereum for for the entirety of, you know, since the beginning, I guess essentially can say that they've had ample amount of time to store 32 ETH. And essentially, if those individuals wanted to continue supporting the blockchain, um, well, the next step would be to enhance themselves into becoming a validator. Now, the thing about proof of work versus proof of stake, proof of work is very hands-on. It requires equipment. It requires daily maintenance. You know, it requires you to do something and it gives you that sense of responsibility and a job and whatever and whatnot. But and you can kind of say similar things, running a validator, but it's a little bit different. It's not as hands on. And essentially, like, really, once you kind of get it set up, you're pretty much locked in and you're good to go. And so you may ask, well, this whole proof of work and the merge and the way that no one's even talking about the miners, real talk. Like, I was thinking I was going to see some more people bring it up, but everyone is looking at the future, which is cool, and everyone's looking at the benefits of all of this, which is it's going to help with scalability, and it's gonna help to have the blockchain, be more optimum and have improved transactions and also support, the the like ZK rollups and optimism and all layer two, you know, protocols out there that will help with the transactions. And for one thing, ETH going to proof of stake essentially could definitely have those other layer 2 scaling solutions out there should be kind of nervous, because then the question becomes again, why am I using, put blockchain name in place, why am I using such and such chain when I can just use Ethereum? And that will take out a lot of layer 2s. And then it becomes the battle of the twos, the battle of the pure proof of stakes, and then it becomes the battle of the chains. So essentially, it would probably be best to be, if you're going to have an investment portfolio, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Disclaimer: just for entertainment and educational purposes only. But just thinking about, having a what do they call it? Your portfolio. Why am I losing the word for some reason? Oh my goodness, I don't know why I can't think of the word I was about to say. But anyway, so you want to have a portfolio with investments that are not correlated, essentially. So you have Ethereum, and then if you have a whole bunch of other altcoins, based off of, within Ethereum all doing DeFi, well, that's not really beneficial, because if ETH goes down, it's correlated to the price of ETH, and you can kind of say that it's correlated to the price of Bitcoin with everything else, but that's like the S&P 500, and QQQ. It's like similar to that. So, but at the same time, I would start asking myself, what non-EVM blockchains are out there? Which ones are available, and which ones are providing a good use case for the community? Algorand comes to mind. Um, you know, CeeLo, Solana, um, Chronos, right? Chronos. Um, Tron. What else is out there? Binance Smart Chain and stuff. I mean, no, there's a few of them out there, okay? And the thing about it is, with blockchain and being part of a new technology, you're going to have to get used to changing, upgrades, um, and movement. So I understand a lot of miners, and maybe a lot of people might be upset with proof of work going out the window, or really not. Doesn't seem like it's being adopted by too many other chains. I mean, like, there's Ergo out there, that looks like they're going after that market. But if we're gonna be purely technical in all of this, and it seems as if the community is okay with proof of stake. Now, everyone was talking shit about Solana when it came out, all right, and Solana being proof of stake, okay, um, very centralized. That was the argument, It was just a lot of ish talking, because they were coming in at, it speeds, transactional speeds that made ETH look like nothing. And so, yet, here we are having Ethereum turn into the very thing it's quote unquote rival arch nemesis, that was so bad. Like, oh my gosh, it's not decentralized. That whole big argument, I guess everyone just kind of hung it up. They're just like, I don't give a F anymore. And I kind of agree with that, because, for one thing, it's literally a battle within the community, and that's something we shouldn't even be focused on. Um, Coming from the blockchain, like, macro perspective of the entire ecosystem, like, if this new financial system is supposed to help, unify the world, um, and then having, you know, wasting intellectual power and time on combating, like, essentially, like, version 1 blockchain versus version 2, and then now version 3, essentially, which is layer 2, kind of. So you could say it's like 2.1, or version 1 blockchain was extremely pure proof of work, testing out the peer-to-peer system with Bitcoin. They did a lot of testing utilizing this, Litecoin and the script algorithm as well. And that blockchain, Lightning was out there before, it was moved to Bitcoin. If anybody was not aware of that. So there's always a test network, and there's always something going on in the back end that's preparing for a change in the future. And technology is always about becoming more efficient. So people may say, and I also was saying this as well, like, what about now, they kind of got bought out, and Deep Pockets again comes in and is able to control and have a a big say on the chain. They can, because 32 ETH is nothing to a lot of people. Now, for anyone that was mining for few years, I could only assume that you potentially, if you would have accumulated and saved your Ethereum, that you have at least 32 ETH. I don't. I got into Ethereum GPU mining actually later in the game. I started ASIC mining first, other blockchains like Handshake and Litecoin, which are performing extremely well for me, and I'm really happy that I did do that, as well as Helium as well. But the thing was, GPUs were difficult to get, and at that time, I knew this was coming up as well, and I did the math, and I knew that with the current investment that I had at that time, I wasn't going to be able to accumulate 32 ETH fast enough mining to then be able to become a validator or set up a validator in the future. And I didn't have the funds to do that as well. So I had to make some tough decisions on, while everybody was looking right, I was looking left at other opportunities to continue mining, and I'm glad that I did that because the investments that I've made are all working out so far. Now, that being said, we need to move on to the other side, and proof of stake is here. And if you want to be part of the new ecosystem, at least pertaining to Ethereum, I would advise at least, and recommend checking out, what setting up a validator is and how you can become part of, the supporting the blockchain, and benefit from it. So that being said, we're going to go over this staking launchpad here. This is launchpad.ethereum.org, and this is basically, we're going to go over what it takes to becoming a validator if you're interested in setting up a validator, and what proof of stake means. Now, before we go ahead and read that, so blockchains often operate like a distributed computing system. You see, the network nodes need to communicate with each other, and they need to stay on the same page, okay? All these different nodes that are connected on the blockchain, all right? So the transparency of this communication method between the nodes is known as consensus. The consensus method is a protocol for maintaining the ledger's consistent state, and it lies at the heart of the blockchain. Okay, the consensus in a blockchain is to order the transactions in the ledger and prevent the double spending. Consensus mechanisms link participants and procedures associated with consenting transactions on the chain. They function to guarantee a blockchain transaction's authenticity and validity. All right, so we want to make sure that as people continue to utilize Ethereum and DeFi and anything else that comes in the future that we may not be, have figured out yet, that before anything else can be done, we have to at least have the transactional verification, authentication, and delivery process like done and good. And unfortunately, proof of work does take up a lot of energy, which is an accurate statement. It takes up a lot of not only just energy, but it does take a lot of human energy as well, because like I said, you need to maintain the equipment, you need to mess with the motherboard and the GPU, and cooling fans and the temperature. There's a lot, okay, to run all of that. So it's not just it takes energy, mental, physical, across the world, and electrical. Okay, so now the concept of consensus, right? There's these three things that are necessary for consensus. All right, so we have the first part, which is the standard agreement of laws, rules, and norms, a sense of unity and identity to aid group members in understanding they are equal, and then the standard agreement of institutions that apply these laws and rules. See, consensus algorithms let the linked machines work together to survive if one of its members fails. This tolerance of failure is another significant advantage of blockchains and distributed ledgers. So what does that mean? Well, say if everything was to shut down, or we used to lose network power, and all the nodes were gone and disconnected, but there was still one left. All right. Well, that one left would still have the blockchain on it. All right, and it would still have the necessary information no matter what. And if the network went down, could be, it won't be tracked essentially, but it would still, pick up from where it left off. It's not like if it caught on fire, it would be gone forever. If like in a physical world ledger or something like that, or even a data center that was destroyed and it was just a singular centralized location. So with you can have a node set up in somebody's house, you can have a node set up across the world, you can have a safety node set up in like Antarctica or something like that, who knows, okay? But either way, as long as there's a few nodes or a node connected somewhere in the world, the blockchain is safe and the information will be there. Okay, so proof of stake, pertaining to ETH and Ethereum 2.0. So there was the beacon chain upgrade. All right, this is the name that they've chosen, that brings proof of stake consensus to Ethereum. So they're gonna need active participants. All right, and these participants are gonna be called validators. And those validators, well, they're here to propose, verify, and vouch for the validity of the blocks. All right. Also, like to say, like if you've seen my block folio that I've released a few times out, I put up there, transaction verification specialist, and that's just a nice way of saying, I'm a crypto miner, or even a validator, essentially, because that's what we're doing. We're spending that time and energy, and knowledge to help support the blockchain. So when you want to go yield farm and you want to go buy some NFTs, and if you want to go send somebody some ETH, okay, or you want to swap some ETH for another altcoin, there still needs to be a a community of nodes, a community of people there supporting those transactions and making sure that there's computational power behind it to, so people can use the network. And that's the cool thing about it, so it still allows the people per se the ability to be part of it, Okay, so that's still the decentralized part of it. Okay, I mean, yeah, has the barrier of entry increased? Absolutely. All right, but this is not the beginning anymore, for at least for Ethereum, and you can't expect the entry level to be available forever, because if that's the case, and then we'll never have growth, and that's not what we want, because we do want growth. We want people using the Ethereum blockchain, because as more and more people use it, as more and more volume comes, to the ecosystem, that's Ethereum being burned. And every time Ethereum's being burned, and we have more people using the the network than Ethereum, new blocks created and new Ethereum created, that's where we create that deflationary aspect of it. And through time, that supply and demand ratio will tip in the favor of the holders, because eventually the burn-in ratio, at least with the current volume, if it were to stay like this and continue on, it will be deflationary at an extremely small percentage rate. However, if more volume comes in, and then that would just increase the speed of the deflationary um, time frame of the coin, and in turn, potentially increasing the value of each token. Okay, so importantly, these validators, you'll need to post ETH as collateral. Well, that's what the 32 ETH that I was referring to. So in other words, you have to have some skin in the game. Okay, that's what they're telling you. Okay, they need to know that you are going to be a reliable resource for the community and for the network. Like I said, so this is billions of dollars that's going to be working on this ecosystem. We can't just have people coming in to and say, "Hey, I'm going to run a validator today," and be like, "Oh shit, rent's due. I need some of my ETH back. Let me go ahead and unstake my ETH and take it, so I can go ahead and do this, that, and the thirds." And that there, and if we're relying on that validator to verify these transactions and help support the consensus algorithm of it, well, that's going to be a problem. So that's why it's important, that people come in and stake their Ethereum, and why you need to stake your 32 ETH. And essentially, you have to commit to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll get into that more as we go through this. Okay, so let's continue on. So that's basically what we went over what proof of stake is. All right, so now the deposit part. Okay, so to become a validator on the beacon chain, you need to deposit the 32 ETH per validator that you wish to run. So what does that mean right there? Per validator. So can you run more than one validator? Absolutely. If you're a business, right, and you want to generate some additional revenue within your company, and you're like, hey, why don't we get into this Web3 world, this new decentralized revenue stream? We can essentially establish an entire business around this, which is what I've done with PSB Advanced Technology. We are a blockchain, blockchain company, mining company, and educational company as well. So as I grow out my facility, and support this blockchain, I can also decide to say, hey, you know what, this is working out. I like, you know, uh, running these validators, and I know it helps the ecosystem at the same time, and I understand how to do it. why not run another one? I don't plan on using these funds right now. I don't mind locking up 64 ETH, okay, to run 2 validators, all right? And that's why it's a non-reversible transaction at this time, and it will be for as long as you're running those validators and as long as you're going to commit to it. Because withdrawing your deposit will not be possible until the Shanghai upgrade planned is done for after the merge, okay? And that upgrade is not going to happen for at least, oh man, I don't even want to say the time frame. I think it was 6 months or so at the beginning. Let's go ahead and click that. So soon the current. So let's see. Does it say when the Shanghai? Um, no, and I probably should just Google it and everything like that. Here we go. The merge and the Shanghai upgrade. So in order to simplify and maximize focus and successful transition to proof of stake, the merge upgrade will not include certain anticipated features such as the ability to withdraw staked ETH. See, the Shanghai upgrade is planned to follow the merge, which will enable the ability for stakers to withdraw. If I'm not mistaken, though, I believe they were going to wait at least 6 months or so after the merge before this upgrade is pushed, okay? And that's also going to exchanges. At least for right now, they do plan on, you know, they don't want, I don't even want to, I don't even want to get into that conversation, but it is something that is important because this is a really big thing in the ecosystem, and for Ethereum it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, it's a lot right now for this upgrade. So to essentially, um, release a minimal amount of features available at a time is necessary to reduce any current and future potential vulnerabilities or issues during and after the merge that we just may not know. We can only take some educated guesses and predictions as to what may occur, but a lot of times you have no idea until afterwards, and then that's when you're going to need to really put your thinking cap on and figure out how to get a solution to whatever current problem or challenge that you may be facing. So but we're not going to get into that anymore because there's a lot with that right there. Okay, so 32 ETH is required to deposit to run one validator. If you want to run more than one validator, well, that's another 32 ETH you're going to need to put up to do so. All right, so once you accept that, you understand that. Now, using the terminal. So to become a validator, you will need to be able to run commands in the terminal on your computer. Generating your new key pairs and installing the validator software are both done in the terminal. So this is for those tech savvy individuals right now. So on the blockchain, you can interact with the blockchain inside the command terminal. All right, when you are using a DApp, a decentralized application. So for example, when we go to like Uniswap, all right. So Uniswap, this is a swap, earn, and build protocol. All right, I believe they're on version 3 right now for Uniswap. You can see that there's 1.1 trillion of trade volume on there. All right, all-time trades, 109 million plus, 300 plus integrations in there, with about 4,400 plus community delegates. Okay, there's a lot going on with Uniswaps. Why did I bring this up? So let's go ahead and launch this app. All right, so this app right here, okay, you can see that my wallet was one of my test wallets was already connected, and this is what you do in the terminal. Okay, so in the terminal, this is your terminal in the in the command. You can do the same thing that you see here, all right, in the terminal. That's what this is, the command terminal. So if I wanted to send some ethereum to another address, what I would do is essentially is obtain that address. I'm not gonna access Ganache or Go. I should probably like I should have had that set up, and I could have had like hard hat set up. Let me see if I can open up a hard hat node right now. Hard hat node start. Is that how I do it? That's not how I do it. I can't remember the code off the top of my head. Is it run hard hat? Hold on, let me pause this for a second. Welcome back. All right, so let's see if I can do this. Npx hard hat compile. Now this should give me a should run the oh crap. What did I do? What do you mean can't find it? Npx hard hat test. It is right there. I need to run the dependencies again. Npx hard hat node. Alright, this is making me look bad. What do you mean you can't find it? It's not half hard hat. Do I gotta run a sample project? Npx hard hat. What is going on? Wow, I don't know what's going on with this. Hold on. Ah, here we go. I was in the wrong repository. I'm so sorry. In directory. I'm like, what the WTF? Okay, so let's just do create a TypeScript empty hard hat. Let's do that. Um, yeah, we do that. Do you want sure? Okay, do you want to install the sample dependency? Sure, why not? Okay, so that's doing that. All right, so while that's doing that, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you can access the blockchain. All right, using the command terminal on the back end, and most people don't like this. Okay, interacting with. So that's why they created this front end here. Um, to make it more user friendly when you're doing these transactions, all right, and why people don't want to interact with the terminal to send each other ETH or to swap that out. So let's just get back to this. All right, so that's what the terminal is, okay? All right, so the validator uptime. Validator goes offline, you'll be penalized. The penalties for being offline are roughly equal to the rewards for actively participating. Wow, look at that. So more on Ethereum staking economics. Go ahead and let's let that load. And go ahead and I say accept to that. Now, the bad validator behavior, what is this about? So if you try to cheat the system or act contrary to the specification, you will be liable to incur a penalty known as slashing. Okay, so running your validator keys simultaneously on two or more machines will result in slashing. All right, so the Ethereum consensus layer specification, more on slashing risk. Let's go ahead and do that and do a little bit of that too. And this is how you do your due diligence too, okay? If you guys, if anyone's new to this. So, this is the Ethereum proof of stake consensus specifications, okay? And we can see that this was not what I meant to open up for you guys, because you don't need to see all of that. All right, so what is the validator? We already did that. So, well, I guess this is also pretty good because we know what a validator is. Real quickly again, it's a virtual entity that lives on the beacon chain, represented by a balanced public key and other properties, and participates in consensus of the Ethereum network. So consensus is working together to verify the transactions of the blockchain. So what is a validator client? A validator client is the software that acts on behalf of the validator by holding and using its private key to make attestations. Attestians. Why can I say that right now? I don't know why I'm having difficulty with this word. Attestations. I don't think I'm saying that right. Anyway, about the state of the chain. A single validator client can hold many key pairs, controlling many validators. What's a node operator? A node operator is the human being who makes sure the client software is running appropriately, maintaining hardware as needed. Okay, so that would be, for example, like myself or anybody else that would be interested in running a validator. Let's see if this is up and running. Okay, so look, this is our hard hat. This is up and running. You can see that now. Let me go ahead and actually see if I can run this node now, so you can just kind of see what I was referring to. It's probably not gonna work because I don't know why. Okay, it did work. All right, awesome. So you can see here now, nobody used these private keys or anything like that. Okay, so this is a blockchain. You can see right here, I have access to the blockchain and I have a whole bunch of different accounts. So just like you have a lot of different accounts on MetaMask, all right, this is the private key. If I wanted to send some Ethereum to another account, this is the way I can do that. So for example, if I want to send my let's go ahead and log into this Alright, local chain. That crap. That's the RPC server. So if I want to add this, let me show you something. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Alright, so let's say we want to import an account. Alright, we're going to import a private key. Alright, so let's take this one, this private key here. Copy. Alright, and guys, this is just test stuff, like it's a duplicate. Oh, I know. Let's try this one. Here we go. Okay, good. So I just added this onto the MetaMask wallet. All right, so you can see that this is the tokens on there, the GO token. Okay, and if I wanted to, so you can see the call here, call in an account, which is not a contract. Da, 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 da. All right, ETH block number, get balance, block number, all of that. Okay, see how I'm interacting with the blockchain here. So if I wanted to send, transfer between, let's see, let's send to one of these other accounts on here. Let's send to account number 19. Okay, let's get this address, copy, and we're gonna send to that one, paste. All right, so we're gonna send them 500 go. Okay, actually no, 5,000, so it's just easier to see. I'm gonna click next. All right, you can see 5,000 sending go. New address is detected. Click here to add your address book. We do not need to do that. All right, this is the amount plus the gas fee. You can see the fee is down there. All right, gas fees up here. We can click confirm. Okay, so it's going now. It's sending it. All right. So what I'm doing right now, actually, I can speed it up if I wanted to. Let's go ahead and do that. Speed that up for video's sake, and I just actually spent some more gas to do that. All right. So now let's go ahead and look at the terminal. We should be able to see that this was just done on it. So you can see, boom, 5,000 ETH from here, from this address to this address. That was the amount, and this was the block number 1. Okay, and that was used for the blockchain. Okay, so this is what the chain is. Okay, sending these transactions all on the back end and everything like that. And this is why we use the browser-based wallets like this, because it just makes it so much easier to do. If I needed to do that here within the terminal, I would literally have to type in like get balance. So for example, let's get the balance. Let's call the balance this right here of account 19. So the way I gotta do that, actually, if I had to open up a new window and shit, how did I do it? So what was the name of this? I got so many projects. We'll just do it this way. We'll just add it on here because I can't seem to remember at this time. So let's go ahead and get this private key, put it up here, because I know I can use this one actually to search, but I should actually do it in another window. I don't think that's going to, yeah, that's not going to work. So let me go ahead and do that, paste, import, and boom, 15,000 go. Okay, so, and then obviously you're not going to see that, but we can also check on not Etherscan because we're using this. All right. So that was a way to, I don't even, that's what using a terminal is, and the blockchain. All right, that's the back end of the blockchain, and that's what it looks like. So let's go back to our. All right, so bad behavior, we're going to accept that. So no slashing. All right, key management. To become a validator, you'll need to know about managing keys and protecting the nomic, the mnemonic. If you are not yet familiar with keys and mnemonics, please do not proceed. Note that during this process, you will not derive the keys needed to withdraw later. So store your mnemonics safely in order and to be able to withdraw later will help you create a sign-in key for every validator you want to run, because there are no withdrawals until the Shanghai upgrade planned to follow the merge. You will not create your withdrawal keys now. When it is possible to withdraw your funds, you can derive your withdrawal keys from your mnemonic code. Your mnemonic is the backup for your signing keys and will be the only way to withdraw your ETH when the time comes, and no one can help you recover yours. Alright? And I know I was saying that word wrong. It is what it is. So validating is a long-term commitment. I think we kind of understand that. And if you don't by now, well, I don't know what you've been listening to. It's been a long-term video. It's 47 minutes, right? So I'm going to try to chop this up a little bit, but I will put the raw version on YouTube because why not? You can see all my errors and flaws at the same time. But you see, transfers between validators and the withdrawals aren't possible yet. We've gone through that, and I don't blame them for being very repetitive on that. Withdrawal functionality is currently a top priority and is planned to be rolled out in the next network upgrade. I like how they don't tell you when the upgrade is going to be, but they tell you the name of the upgrade. So stay tuned for the Shanghai upgrade, so you'll know when you'll be able to take your funds out. All right, but that's not what validating is about. It's not about putting some funds in today to get it out tomorrow. Like, I'm staking on the Helium blockchain, and we have a couple validators running in our pool, and I actually haven't checked my validator in a long time. I should probably go log into that. I'm not going to do that in this video. Maybe I'll make another video if anyone's interested on my Helium staking video. So with transfers disabled for now, you won't be able to voluntarily exit and then restart later. This means you need to be in it for the long haul. All right, so you got to be committed. All right, so early adopter risk. If you're joining a network in its early stages, as with any new piece of software, there is potential for software bugs. While unlikely, potential bugs may result in slashing. All right, we don't like slashing. And here's your staking checklist. Okay, so they give you a nice little checklist. You need to go through this again to really take that time and make sure you understand, because there's some hardware requirements. Okay, you need to be able to run the execution client as well as the consensus client, which is formerly ETH2. All right, as of May 2022, you will need 1 terabyte for the main net execution chain data alone, and it's growing at more than a gig a day. Okay, so probably I would plan ahead, maybe set it up with a few terabytes. Okay. Ethereum had its genesis on July 30th of 2015. It is growing in size over time, and the introduction of Sharding will also increase storage, memory, and bandwidth requirements. So you'll need SSD storage to consistently handle necessary read and write speeds. Be sure to account for enough space on your drive until you run maintenance on your node. All right, CPU and RAM. Check with your client documentation to ensure the hardware you want to use is sufficient and supported. Okay, internet obviously you will need. Ideally, your internet connection should be reliable and as close to 24/7 as possible without interruption. Obviously, because you need to make sure the node and validator is constantly available to the blockchain. All right. Ensure your bandwidth can't be throttled and isn't capped so your node stays in sync. You will be ready to validate when called upon. All right. You need enough upload bandwidth too. Okay. So we're talking about at least 1 to let's just say 2 gigs of data download and a gig upload per hour. All right, and that's definitely likely to increase as the blockchain and Sharding, when Sharding is added and that upgrade is pushed, that will also require more bandwidth. All right. And yeah, so and that's it for right now. We're not gonna, this is a super technical video. I hope I did a good, decent job with explaining of how you can prepare for running a validator and the requirements if you were interested in supporting the Ethereum layer 2, ETH2. Okay, this is going to help Ethereum with scalability issues and at the same time help with the low transaction per second numbers. All right. At the same time, this will help improve the operability of the network. And hey, you never know, maybe price might go up, but don't plan on it because this is a long-term game. All right. Blockchain is still in its early infancies. You can walk around and probably ask anybody right now, hey, can you name me 5 different blockchains? And they probably couldn't do that. And I wouldn't even probably use the word blockchain. Just say, hey, can you name me 4 or 5 different cryptos or tokens or anything, And you probably couldn't get it. I would probably bet money on the majority of people still don't know and still don't understand. And it's okay. And it's, it's our job to make sure that we help newcomers coming into the space understand what they're getting into and the opportunities behind this, because there are opportunities for you to enhance your future self and level up. And if you're interested in learning more about blockchain and cryptocurrency, you can definitely reach out to me. And if you like this video, I know this was super long. I'm getting better at it. I will start editing my videos professionally, and what we'll do is we'll start providing, we'll pick a day to release like long videos like this. Throughout the weeks we might have a couple short ones. I'm gonna start going live and start interacting with people that are here supporting and watching my videos. So I really do appreciate anybody that watches my video right now. I didn't think there were people out there that would be listening, and there are, and that's really cool. It gets lonely being in the house, especially as a dev and a miner, and with around my world, nobody else likes to talk to me about this stuff. So I reach out to the internet. So help me grow, help me reach more people, help me share my knowledge. I've learned a lot. I've spent a lot of time gaining this information, gaining this knowledge, understanding blockchain development, understanding the back end and smart contract development on Ethereum with Solana. And at the same time, I'm just trying to become a blockchain master. I'm trying to become, a leader in this space, especially in the Black community. If I can be a knowledge source to help others understand more about cryptocurrency and the opportunities of how you can generate some passive income in various areas of blockchain, and then mission accomplished. So stay tuned for the next video. We're going to go over blockchain as a service and how you can implement blockchain into your business and start going after an entirely new market revenue customer base. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far in this video, you're fucking amazing. I love you. I really do appreciate it. Leave some comments below. Let me know how I can improve. Obviously, I can make these shorter for sure. And maybe I'm not good at being a friend. So help me to be more interactive. Ask me questions. I love the questions. I like to answer questions. I like to talk with people. I don't really ask questions when I'm in settings because a lot of times I already understand a lot of the topics, and so I don't ask questions. But because of that, I don't interact a lot, and that's not cool. So I gotta find better ways to be more interactive with the internet and with everybody out here in the ecosystem. So until next time, peace.